Welcome back. And our open day is just about to begin. And you know what that means? It means that you can be part of the discussions by using our phone lines, which will be shown on your screen very shortly. But please, when you call in, remember to turn down the volume on your TV set. As well as using our social media platforms, go to @Silverbird Television and you would get to talk to us using our social media platforms. Please do not forget to hashtag STV News Hub when you send in those tweets. Now we have guests in our three locations, Abuja, Port Harcourt and right here in Lagos. I'll begin with our Lagos guest. We have Alistair Wilcox, who is a chartered accountant and also a public affairs analyst. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. It's nice having me around again.
Yes, and over to our Abuja studios, we have Jide Ojo, who is also a public affairs analyst. We're happy that you joined us this morning. Good morning. And in our Port Harcourt studio, we have barrister Nazinga Lue. He's a legal practitioner. You're also welcome to the program. We'll get back to our Port Harcourt studio. But the three topics we'll be looking at this morning, the three major topics that happened this week, the three major headlines, the federal government's recognition of Chief MKO Abiola and conferring on him the highest award of the GCFR, and also the National Assembly's resolution on the state of the nation, the 12-point resolutions, and the Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki's conundrum with the IGP or with the police, the issues he has with the Nigerian police so far. Now let's begin with our Lagos studio. Alistair Wilcox. These are three major topics. There are three major headlines that broke, this week. What would you? I think for me the biggest will be the recognition of MKO Abiola and conferring on him the GCFR. What is your take on this particular topic?
I think that's, like you said, that's the biggest. That's the biggest news of all time that has taken 25 years coming. And my joy is the fact that at least for once there's a closure to a national issue that has taken place in the country. This issue has hanged on, and I think the soul and spirit of MKO must not have rest, because the issue keeps coming up every day. That was one injustice that needed to be addressed. A man that contested an election, canvassed through the part of this country. Elections were held. That was my first election I voted, really putting up to vote. Elections were held. Results were being released. He was coasting home because, we had option A4, where results come from every polling unit. That was the first time we started having results from every polling unit. So results are already being collated and he's already winning the election. And all of a sudden, the election was cancelled. Events followed, and he lost his life in the process of actualizing his mandate. I think for me, nothing could be bigger than having that aspect of our national life brought to a logical conclusion. And I keep telling my friends, I say after June 12th, I will start addressing. Anytime I talked about Chief MKO Abiola, I will say late President MKO Abiola, because that is just what it deserves. And that is the biggest story of the week.
All right. Putting a lead on this one put you in the category of the eternal optimist. A number of people, of course, had prayed for the day that we will get to hear MKO Abiola honored for his role in Nigeria's Fourth Republic. But tell me something. I'm sure if you had seen the proceedings of the National Assembly at the Senate, and the House of Rep, you probably must have been taken aback at the sort of things you probably had. The Senate sort of had things a bit clearly wrapped up. They want the Electoral Commission to go ahead and announce the results. But the House of Rep, it's a different ballgame entirely. There are people who insist that there is a subsisting court ruling which prevents the Electoral Commission from even announcing the result. Of course, you remember the Association of Better Nigeria led by the infamous author Nzeribe. And on all that's happened, they say that has to be dealt with first. There are also people who've also said, of course, we'll get the legal reaction when Nazinga Lue in our Port Harcourt studio comes on what he thinks as a lawyer about that. But so tell me, are we there yet?
For me, you see, the National Assembly is a very funny sort of place. Today, you see the Senate misbehaving and behaving like children. The next day, you see them acting maturely as they are supposed to act. And then another day, you see the House of Rep being looked up by Nigerians. So it's a mix. It's a real bag of mixed feelings with National Assembly. So I want to commend the Senate for the first time in a very long time. Maybe they want to redeem their image, because in a long time they've been in the eyes of the storm in the negative sense for too long, especially with the issues surrounding the Senate president. But for the first time, they rise up to the occasion and say, look, we are solidly in support of what you have done. Apart from one or two, I'll call them recalcitrant senators, talking of Senator Engineer Baribe, who I think that joke was one childish joke taken too far. And I think Engineer Baribe should warn himself, and people of Abia not. He is becoming such a character that sometimes belittled himself to the office. I think he's a 4-time senator, 3-time senator now, and he should have some decorum. So that is joke, or whatever comment he made, because I'm at December 31, was a joke, fell flat and too childish for that, for the drive of the moment as to what they have, they set out to do that day. And I think I commend the Senate for even taking the matter a bit longer. I mean, expanding the horizon, talking that the result should be announced, MQ should be declared winner, and then regarded as a president, rather his entitlements will be paid to him and to Babagana Kingibe. But when you go to House of Reps, well, they have 360 members. The other one has 109. So you don't expect that 360 will behave the way 109 will behave. There will be recalcitrant behaviors and all. But the legal, and I like what the Senate said. They said the benefit of the action outweighs the legalistic consequences of whatever anybody wants to talk about. Yeah, because there was some issue, like you said, the subsisting order that you cannot confer honor on dead people apart from military men. And so but the Senate look at it. Look, we have always had this issue of doctrine of necessity in this country, and so they look at it as in the light of the present realities, what is the best. And they didn't take any partisan line, so to say, apart from what Engineer Baribe is trying to do. They didn't take any partisan line. They are all in unison. This is the Senate. This is a state that has been at loggerhead with the president. But in this case, everyone knows that this is an issue that is burning in the hearts and minds of everybody. That is like a sore point in our march towards democracy, in our democratic journey. So everybody should apply. Yes, people are reading political meaning, and look, political meaning, ethnic meaning, that a man stood up to do it. What? Even his own kinsman, talking of ex-president Obasanjo. And I think they should bury their heads in shame. People, right. I mean, from the likes of Abacha to Abdul Salam to Obasanjo to Leche Radua to Goodluck Jonathan, that couldn't resolve this issue. And they should all bury their head in shame. And we should give great thumbs up to President Muhammadu Buhari, because he's a truly statesman that did what others fail or refuse or shy away from doing.
All right, let's cross over to our Abuja studio. Jide Ojo, a public affairs analyst. Now, despite the fact that the National Assembly had a closed-door session and came out with this 12 agenda, so to speak, the Senate President seems to be in some murky waters, as he is facing some allegations concerning the Kwara State robbery. But do you think that Nigerian police should have made it different, or should have had a different stance in the way they went about this, knowing that the Senate President had earlier talked about him being framed up by the Nigerian police? Do you think there was a better way the police should have handled this?
Of course, there are better ways by which the Nigerian police should have handled this, rather than giving us the impression of tackle and dabble. If you tackle me, I will dabble you kind of scenario that is playing out. You recall that the Senate on 3 different occasions invited the IGP to the Senate to come and explain to them some of the security challenges and what he's doing. And he has rebuffed them on those 3 occasions, only for this issue of robbery to come up. Now we have had 2 different parades within a week. First on Sunday, where, and I think everything the Nigerian police is doing is just to pin the robbery and pin the suspects to Senate President Bukola Saraki. Of course, he has never been the fan of the presidency since his emergence as the Senate President way back in June 2015. Of course, he was first dragged before the Code of Conduct Bureau for many years. He's still answering charges, even though the CCB has initially cleared him. I think the government is on appeal. Then his wife was also investigated by the EFCC. Then now we have this robbery incident. Then considering the fact that he's also leading the new PDP discussion with the presidency, of course, the parallel congresses that were held in Kwara State. All of these are built up to the fact that I see it more as political witch hunt aimed at clipping the wings of the Senate president. I may be wrong, and I'm entitled to my opinion, but I think the way and manner the Nigerian police has gone about this, if you have any issue with the Senate president, or give him, invite him properly to come and answer those charges, not on the media, not through press statement. You cannot be having a press conference and you are saying by this press conference we are inviting the Senate president to appear at Guzape to come and answer this. It's not done. That is number 3 citizens of Nigeria. You may not like his face, you may not like his politics, but at least you must respect his office. There are proper channels through which you can invite somebody of that status. And it's by just issue. He has an ADC, he has security details around him. You know his office, you know his house. You can extend a quiet invitation to him. Now, if he rebuffs that invitation, former invitation, then you can go public. You can declare him wanted. But for you to address a press conference and now you are interrogating, it's even the police PPRO that is doing the interrogation. What did you know about Saraki? These are things for the court. It's the court that should ordinarily determine the culpability or otherwise of a suspect. All of the people that are being paraded, and of course that is also wrong. Legal opinions have said that it's not right for you to parade a suspect in the media. Because what if they are cleared by the court at the end of the day? Will you parade them to say, oh, they have not been cleared? The damage may have been done to their reputation and to their persons, even their psychology. So by and large, the fact that the police is going about this in a very brash manner, approbating and reprobating at the same time. Initially, we learned that after the meeting with the president, they now say, oh, you don't have to come, just write your statement and we'll take it. Then the next day, you have the police PPRO addressing the press again and said, no, that's not the true position. We are still expecting him to come. Have you extended a formal invite to him? Has he rebuffed that formal invite on how many occasions? The man has said through his Twitter handle that once he received a formal invite, he was going to go there. So if you haven't invited the man formally and you are addressing a press conference and you are making it look like the man is a rogue, is a criminal. Even some of the suspects said, look, it's only we are his political followers. The other one said we are his political talks. We all know politicians do many of these things. We have incidents of Yankalare, Yandaba in the north, where political leaders or politicians use youth, drug them up, provide ammunition for them to deal with their political opponents. And it's not peculiar to Kwara, if at all it's happening in Kwara. But I think what is playing out is that the law is for your enemy, the exemption is for your friends. All right. So they may as well continue to witch hunt the Senate president, believing that 2019 is around the corner. They need to deal decisively with him so that it doesn't wield any influence during the elections.
Your point's taken and noted. When we're planning for the editorials for today's program, it was almost impossible to isolate these two events. Of course, delicate viewing for the neutrals, but everyone is concerned about just what is going on between the Inspector General of Police and the Senate, especially the President of the Senate. And on the other hand, this closed-door session that happened this week, joint sitting of the Assembly, the House of Rep and the Senate, coming up with a 12-point resolution on a number of issues, and of course, the point number 2 of a veiled threat of invoking their powers according to the Constitution, which some have interpreted to mean a threat of a possible impeachment of the President. Is it possible to separate Senator Bukola Saraki's problems with the Inspector General of Police and the role of the National Assembly in terms of what the Constitution should provide for the people. Can you separate both roles going by the 12-point resolution that they were not influenced by the President of the Senate's issues with the IG?
Of course, they are influenced by that. When I read those 12-point resolution, I knew that it's also an attempt by the National Assembly to hit back at the Nigerian police. Recall that at least minimum of 3 senators are having issues with the current IGP, starting from Senator Issa Misau from Bauchi State, Senator Dino Melaye, and now the Senate President. At least I know of those 3. There could be more. But by and large, the resolution, of course, reeks of the fact that when they said the president must rein his political appointees, must call them to order, and that if they are not performing, he should sanction them, all of that. It was an indirect reference to the IGP. Recall that even during the recent meeting by the Senate leader, the Senate leader leading a delegation to see the president about 2-3 weeks ago. This issue of invitation to the IGP and his refusal to show up was part of what was discussed with the president. So one will have expected that, look, either the party leadership or the president will have weighed in and said, look, this is not the right way to go about this. The last meeting that the president had with the Attorney General, the DSS DG, and as well as the IGP, I thought that this issue could have also come up for mention, and that proper way of resolving this issue should have been fashioned out. Recall that APC is currently embroiled in controversies in internal crisis, and you cannot separate politics from governance in the true sense of it. What the Senate, the joint session of the Senate is doing is what I will call esprit de corps. They are also bounding, knowing full well that an injustice to one is an injustice to all. They need to come up with those resolutions, and also with that subtle thread that they will invoke all their constitutional powers, because they knew that by and large, they also have a way that they can get back at the Nigerian police. It's just that you don't cut your nose to spite your face. For instance, now, if they refuse to give appropriate money for the Nigerian police, or reduce substantially the money available to Nigerian police, it's not the IGP alone that will be affected. And I'm just citing that hypothetical case. I'm not saying that's what the Senate was meaning when it says that they will invoke their constitutional power. But you know, they have power over appropriation, and there are so many things that the Nigerian police may need in terms of legal instruments from the National Assembly, and they may refuse to oblige. And of course, some people have also said that they are also implying impeaching the president. I don't think they will succeed if they attempt that. That would be too far-reaching, and that would be overreaching themselves, particularly given the fact that the election is around the corner.
We're going to come back to you in just a moment, but let us touch base with our Port Harcourt studio. Naziga Luwe is a legal practitioner. Now, Naziga, on the front page of The Guardian, President Buhari's June 12 stance faces legal hurdles. Now, according to a former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Alpha Belgo, he said that the award of the Nigeria's highest national honor on late Moshood Abiola is illegal, saying that the national honors cannot be awarded posthumously, let alone the GCFR, that's the Grand Commander of the Federal Republic. What are the legal implications of this award bestowed on the late MKO Abiola?
Well, first and foremost, let me say this. On June 12, 1993, over 8 million Nigerians voted for Moshood Abiola. Over 5 million Nigerians voted for Bashiru Tufa in that presidential election. Some people say that that election was inconclusive for the mere fact that the chairman of the National Electoral Commission did not actually announce the results. That is very far from the truth. The fact is known that in every ward, in every council area, in every state, the results of the elections were already known even before the announcement by the chairman of the National Electoral Commission. And so Moshood Abiola was elected president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now, if he was elected president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, it follows that Moshood Abiola was, by virtue of the external laws as at then, the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria by the 26th of August 1993, which was the terminal date of exit for General Badamasi Babangida. Now, there was no need for an interim national government, and there is no powers that Babangida could have exercised to have appointed Shonekan as head of the interim national government. You will recall that on the 26th of August 1993, Babangida had a pullout from the Nigerian army as a general of the army. It therefore also followed that on that day, Moshood Abiola ought to have been sworn in as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The GCFRO, national honors, is always reserved for presidents or former presidents of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now Moshood Abiola is assumed to have been president of Nigeria from the 26th of August 1993, the terminal date of the exit of General Babangida as president or head of state of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now, let me congratulate the President Muhammadu Buhari to have done the needful by awarding that national honor posthumously to Moshood Abiola. He did it as of right. He has the right to award it both to persons that are living and persons that are dead. There is no law that says you cannot award it posthumously to somebody who is recognized to have been the president of Nigeria. By the proclamation of the National Assembly, Abiola, up to date, can still be sworn in, even posthumously, as the president of Nigeria, retrospectively to 26th of August 1993 till 1997, when the 4-year tenure for which Nigerians voted for him is supposed to have lapsed. And so, nobody can say that it is wrong in law to say that that award cannot be posthumously awarded to Moshood Abiola, who was voted as president by over 8 million Nigerians on June 12, 1993. So, it follows therefore also that if over 8 million Nigerians voted for Moshood Abiola and that a result was known, the results were known by everybody in Nigeria. As I speak with you, over 8,500,000 persons that voted for Moshood Abiola, the results were known even in the international community. Babangida also told us in the national broadcast a few days later, on the June 12 election, that it is widely known that that election was free, fair, and democratic. So if the president if the then president who announced the election had said that that election was free, fair, then who else would say that Abiola was not president of Nigeria? Now, the law is this. Moshood Abiola was supposed to be sworn in on the 26th of August 1993, the terminal date of exit of General Babangida. Now, in law, we have what we call appointing authorities. From Lord Frederick Lugard up to Babangida himself, there were appointing authorities that appointed either the Governor General of Nigeria or the Prime Minister of Nigeria or the head of state of Nigeria or the president of Nigeria. And who were those appointing authorities? During the colonial period, the Queen himself, from the king, before Queen Elizabeth II, the king was the appointing authority of all governor generals preceding the Queen when the Queen took over in the 50s. And the Queen became the appointing authority of the governor generals of Nigeria from when she also took over as Queen of England during the colonial era. During independence, between 1960 and 1963, when Nigeria became a country, the Queen also exercised that authority as the appointing authority of the Governor General of Nigeria. Even
right,
when
Mr. Lue, sorry to break into your flow here.
Governor General of Nigeria.
Sorry to break into your flow here,
The Queen,
I would like to take you up on two issues which were brought by the
authority.
National Assembly yesterday. Two issues which were brought by the National Assembly yesterday. One put up by a senator saying that the ruling by a court on the grounds in 1993, shortly after the election by the Association for Better Nigeria, that the elections results be not announced by a National Electoral Commission then headed by Humphrey Wonsu, That's one. And the other being that May 29 has already been declared as Democracy Day and it's been gazetted already. That will have to be set aside before June 12 will be accepted as the Democracy Day. Help us, in your own legal perspective, understand the issues here.
Well, in the first place, the Association for Better Nigeria was not a legal person in the eyes of the law. They had no locus, even to have gone to court to challenge the validity or otherwise of that election. The Association for Better Nigeria was not registered in the records of the CAC. I stand to be corrected on that fact. And if it was not registered, and if it was not a legal personality, the Association for Better Nigeria was not, in fact, in law, it's laughable for any judge to have even entertained any suit by the Association for Better Nigeria that was not recognized by law. So if you are not recognized by law as a legal person, what locus do you have? You don't have any locus. You are not seen as a person that can sue and be sued. The Association for Better Nigeria could not have been able to sue. It could not have been sued by any person. And so that suit, in the first place, could not have been entertained by any court. And so that ruling or judgment by the court, no matter how well phrased, was vowed up in the show. And so nobody can refer to that judgment as if it stands. In any case, let us look at it like I said. If Babangida had no powers to have appointed Shonekan as head of state on the 26th of August 1993, then why and how did Shonekan become head of the interim national government? Babangida was pulled out on the 26th of August. And then that day, Shonekan purported to have been sworn in as head of the interim national government. Who appointed him? Babangida had no powers whatsoever to have appointed anybody on the morning of that day when he was pulled out. In fact, to lend credence to that fact, Clement Akpangbo, about that day or the following day, addressed a press conference in Abuja and buttressed that fact to the extent that the draft decree 61, that enabled the interim national government to be in power was still in draft. And so if it was still in draft, definitely it has no force of law. You cannot put something on nothing and expect it to stand. That beautiful argument was phrased in the case of McFoy by the great Lord Denning. Now, if there was nothing and nobody that could appoint Shonekan as head of state, then Shonekan in law was not even the head of the international national government. And so our take from the point of the National Association of Democratic Lawyers, which I'm the chairman in Rivers State, first is that act by the president is valid, it is legal, and cannot be challenged. Second, there was nothing in law that we can refer to as the interim national government, because Shonekan was never head of state. There was no appointing authority. Babangida could not have appointed him as head of interim national government. Third, we still call on the president to do the needful and divest Chief Ernest Shonekan of the Grand Commander of the Federal Republic honors, because that honor is always reserved for head of states, presidents, and former head of states or former presidents. And so if Shonekan in law was never head of the interim national government because there was no appointing authority, it follows that the president can also do the needful and go a step forward by divesting him of that national honor and conferring same on Moshood Kashimawo Abiola, who was elected president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria by over 8 million Nigerians on June 12, 1993.
All right, thank you, Naziga. We're going to still touch base with you, but very soon we'll open our phone lines and we might be interrupting your discussions when people get to call in. But back to our Lagos studio. I see you chuckling when Naziga was making some comments. Yes. What do you want to add to what he just said?
No, he has said it all. He said it all, and I think Nazi was quite thorough. In fact, this kind of brilliant lawyers we think should climb onto the bench, you know, because he's quite thorough, and I think I give it to him. He was thorough in dissecting the issues and the circumstances. I think it's quite apt, and anybody who is going to court might be having an exercise in futility. But I will also not go to the length of saying divest Shonekan of that GCFR, because that will also be opening another Pandora box and a can of worm. Let's like sleeping dog. Like we all know that the international government was an illegal arrangement for which Babangida has no right to do. But of course, because the military works on decree, there was a decree that was signed into law to that. But looking at it legalistically, there was nothing to all about. But he served for 83 days, and today he enjoys the full benefits of every head of state, living or dead. So that I will not want us to dabble into. But as the fact that Bashir Moshood MKO Abiola is being recognized, and that chapter in our national life, and injustice done to the man, his family, his business, and the millions of Nigerians that benefited from his legacy. This is a man that touches life across
regions.
Across all geopolitical zones, across the Niger, across the Sahara, internationally, and he has to pay with his life for what should have been one of the best transitional arrangement we had in the country. And over the years, people have been playing politics with it. People have been playing.
There was something you said.
No, I think
there was something you said in your opening speech that other president had tried to fail to do that, but they didn't. But we're going to open our phone lines at this point so that our viewers would have the opportunity to call in and ask questions or make their comments known on any of the 3 topics we are treating on our open day this morning. Please do not forget to turn down the volume on your TV set when you call and listen to us with your phone and not on your TV, on your screen. The topics we are talking about this morning on our open day. And also you can make use of our social media platform at Silverbird TV. Drop your comments there. I see some comments already dropping, so you could please do that as well. Now, during the time of Goodluck Jonathan, former President Goodluck Jonathan, he tried to rename University of Lagos to be MKO Abiola University, but he faced a lot of opposition about it, and even the students at that time didn't want the school to be renamed MKO Abiola. So he made an effort. But do you think that this is a political strategy by the APC? A lot of people have welcomed this development, especially from the Southwest. They like the fact that the president has finally recognized what MKO did in Nigeria. But some other people are thinking it's more like a strategy to win in the 2019 election. What's your take on this?
I totally disagree with them. Like Festus Keyamo said, there are people who hate Buhari to the point that even if Buhari tars the road of their villages, of their towns, to their bedroom, even pave it with gold, they will see nothing good about it. So there are people like that, and I don't think this government is out to make them happy. Make them more sad because they believe in negativity.
All right. I'm sorry to put you on the pause, Lester Wilcox, but we've got a first call this morning. Ada is calling in from Lagos. Ada, please go ahead and make your contribution. Ada, please go ahead.
Hello.
We can hear you. Please go on.
Yes, good morning. I'm just going to be very... I've been watching events unfold in the past few days after this announcement was made on June 12th. And I'm just going to say this is the cheap political gimmick. 2019 election, barely how many months away. And with all the discussions and going back and forth, what's going on, I just think the president is just scoring cheap political gimmick, as far as I'm concerned. We have more important issues in this nation at this critical hour. That's just all I have to say. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ada.
Thank you. Please just keep the calls coming in. Tell us where you're calling from and how the issues we're talking about have affected you.
Yeah, so talking about if it is political or not, was it the right thing to be? Was it the demand of people? Was it what people are asking for? Have they asked for it?
Sorry to interrupt you again, Alesta.
No, it's okay.
Let's take in James. James is calling from the Ghanaian capital, Accra.
Wow.
James, please go ahead.
Okay, I guess we lost the call.
Okay.
Yeah. So did people did they clamor for it? I feel everyone has been asking for this. The entire South, a lot of progressive has been asking for it. So if it is done, so should we not applaud it being done than looking at if it is done for political? I mean, Obasanjo could have done it for political or ethnic gain. Obasanjo lost Ogun State in 1999. So he could have been the face to done to endear himself to the people. Goodluck Jonathan was having issue. Now, he named a University of Ibadan. What was the protest? He said Abiola is a president, not to be cocooned to a Western, to a regional edifice. He said, name National Stadium, name Ego Square. I mean, after Abiola, not University of Lagos. Okay? So that was the position. Not that if you honor him with a street in Abuja, nobody will come to protest. He has a street in Abuja. But they said, name a national edifice for after him. Now, what this president has done is total. Recognizing him as having won the election, recognizing him as a president of Nigeria. So that is a totality of the entire scenario. So anybody looking at politics or no politics into it, too bad. You didn't play politics right, and everything in life is politics. So he didn't play politics right. The man is playing his own politics right, and you're complaining. So why are you complaining?
Once again, sorry to put you on the pause, Mr. Wilcox. Let's take in Ola. Ola is calling in from Osun State. Ola, please go ahead.
Good morning.
Great, Ola. We can hear you live and direct. Please go on.
Okay. We want to talk about this June 12th and its symbolic importance. What the president has done is very, very good, and it's a welcome development. It is a product of public demand. But since 1999, we have been clamoring for this justice. And the president has just paid the debt the Nigerians owing the Abiola family and the people who struggle for that election. It is the first time we have Muslim ticket. There was no polarization. It was a united front towards salvage in our nation. The people who came with divide and rule took us back, memories years apart. It is going back to where the rain has started between us. We must therefore unanimously join hands, stop talking about politics. Other political leaders have 16 years to play politics with it. They will not take politics with it.
All right.
So it means it is beyond politics. It is just a national healing. We need to heal. That is justice. Because the pain in the heart of the business of MKO got disorganized because of that justice to its family. Somebody has to heal it. This should be a collective effort towards healing. Thank you for allowing me to talk to you.
All right.
Thank you, Ola.
All right. There's a call coming in from Lagos. Paul, please go ahead and make your comment. Paul, please go ahead.
Hello?
We can hear you, Paul. Please go on.
God bless you. Yeah, my take is that I want to let Nigerians to know that as long people are not punished for doing what... Hello?
Please go on.
As long people are not punished for doing what is wrong, the wrong thing will continue to grow. Even Babangida has to be brought to book to answer for what he has done, injustice he has done. They should bring him to book and judge him and jail him. He's still alive. I know of a British newscaster that worked in BBC.
Paul, please.
He had many awards.
Language.
Died.
Hello, Paul. Please mind the use of language. You can't use some derogatory statements regardless of how you feel about someone or a situation. Please be very mindful with your choice of words when you call in. Thank you very much. So still on our various
people always
topics.
talk about jail. Look, you can say put them on trial.
Right.
It depends on the judge that will jail or not to jail.
I put you on the pause. We're going to cross over to Abuja. Let's talk with Jide Ojo. Jide Ojo, this is one topic you haven't said anything about. I'm sure you're itching to say a lot about June 12. We've heard certain things. We've heard a debt that be paid to the Abiola family and the thousands of Nigerians who died in the unfortunate incidents that happened after the 12th of June 1993. We've had healing. Some say it's the stumbling block that refuses to go away, the June 12 issue, and President Muhammadu Buhari has finally opened maybe a Pandora box. As you heard the last caller talk about social justice, beginning with the one who annulled the election, Ibrahim Babangida. Tell me, do we now have a democracy day? We can tell our children and tell ourselves this is what democracy, electoral process at least, should look like.
Very well. It's like bringing a closure to a nagging issue. You recall that for 25 years, this issue have refused to go away. Every year, to the credit of some some states in the southwest, they've kept the memory of June 12 alive by declaring it as public holiday. At least I know of Lagos, Osun, Ogun State. I don't know of other states. But at least those 2-3 states have been keeping the memory of June 12 alive. And we owe it to our children and children yet unborn that there was a watershed in our political history where people shone primordial sentiments to have a pan-Nigeria mandate given to one individual, even defeating his opponent in his own state, and a Muslim ticket, which nobody dares to do now. Recall that we are in the Fourth Republic. First Republic, we have a combination of Nnamdi Azikiwe and Tafawa Balewa. In the Second Republic, it was Alex Ekwueme and Shehu Shagari. In this current Fourth Republic, all the 4 presidents we have had to do some ethnic balancing. But that aborted Third Republic, we have a party, a political party, Social Democratic Party, that took a gamble by fielding a Muslim ticket. And imagine a Babagana Kingibe, who is a Kanuri man, not even belonging to the Hausa Fulani ethnic group that we believe are the one holding sway in the north. And yet, people gave a pan-Nigerian mandate to this enigma, this business octopus called Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola. It's a very good decision made by the president. Whether there is a political undertone to it, one will have expected previous administration to do it. And if I can quickly chip in, when University of Lagos resisted the renaming of University of Lagos after MKO Abiola, was not to spite the Abiola family. It was done without recourse to the council and the senate of the institution. I happen to have graduated from University of Lagos. That was why I did my first degree. And I wrote against it. Secondly, it was because we did not want Abiola to be confined to the southwest. Why not name a national monument in Abuja or any other part of the country after him, so that people in those, in University of Lagos, we have an Njoku Hall, we have Makama Bida Hall. These are not Yoruba people, yet we have all names after them. Why can't you name, for instance, University of Maduguri after MKO Abiola, or any other university in other parts of this country that is not southwest? So it was a bid not to confine June 12 to southwest, that there was an open resistance to the Goodluck Jonathan administration. Not because it was not appreciated that something was being done to recognize him. After all, in Ogun State, we have the Moshood Abiola Polytechnic, which was formerly Ogun State Polytechnic. We also have MKO Abiola Stadium in Abeokuta, which was also to immortalize him. But we need something of national, something at the national level, and this is part of what I will still advise the Buhari presidency to do. It should go a step further. Yes, GCFR is good. Yes, June 12, now our Democracy Day, is good, but let's also immortalize him by naming a national monument, whether Eagle Square, National Stadium, National Assembly, or the 3-arm zone after Moshood Abiola. And that will give him the due position in the political history of this country. And about the June 12 itself, whether it will not bring some controversy, if it's about gazetting and re-gazetting, what I see this administration what I will advise this administration to do is to do the needful. If they have to amend the constitution to accommodate June 12 as a Democracy Day going forward, if they have to just issue a gazette to now recognize June 12, but they have to do the needful and tidy up so that there will be no legal controversies about this new emerging date. And I wish this administration has actually done this much earlier than it's doing it now. If it had done it in the first year or second year of his administration, maybe the accusation that there is a political undertone and is meant to woo voters in the southwest will not have gained some stringence as currently being insinuated in many quarters. But whether there is a political undertone or not, I think it is the right thing to do. It is giving not only Abiola family but democracy the true essence of it. Because even the president in his press statement has agreed with millions of Nigerians that June 12 is a watershed. That was the day we had a freest, fairest, most peaceful general elections, presidential election in the history of this country. I didn't read about bloodletting in that election. And don't also forget the use of option A4, where people queued behind the preferred candidate and votes are counted and recorded. That is unprecedented. A lot of people are still calling for option A4 today, but I disagree with them because it may not work, given the level of political violence.
Please, you continue from where you stopped, but let's take this caller from Port Harcourt. Please, you may go ahead, BJ.
Hello?
Please go ahead.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is AK. I'm calling from Port Harcourt. Okay. I want to comment on this issue, calling the date, June 12, as public holiday. I think this is not what we need as at now. Nigeria, what we need as at now is development. It's not to cause confusion. What will it spend Buhari is more confusion the thing will cause. What will it spend those people who is also a fan to Buhari and other people who is also fan to opposition to Moshood Abiola? If what we need now is what will add value to our economy, it's not what will create problem. Is it the only election that they cancel in Nigeria? No. Election has been going on and many of them have been cancelled. So this time around, planning this as a public holiday, is it really thing we are looking for? Why we are crying for so many other things? Then Buhari will come on this day now, declaring June 12 as public holiday. What happened on?
All right, AK. Thanks for your submission. I'm not sure if Jide Ojo made his submission, but we need to move to our Port Harcourt studio where Naziga is on a standby. All right, Naziga. Glad really that you're a legal practitioner on this particular question. Now, a lot of people have said that, especially those who were of age within that election period of the MKO, Abiola and Tofa. Now, a lot of people have said that that was the freest and fairest election ever held in Nigeria. Now, do you think with this example, it's going to put the president under pressure, or to make him, ensure that the next year's election is going to be free and fair and void of any malpractice? But before you answer that question, please, let's take this caller from Port Harcourt. Saturday is calling in from Port Harcourt. Please go ahead, Saturday on a Friday.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
I want to speak about the problem between the Senate President and the police. Yes, because it's quite unfair that any time that there is problem in the country, the police will seem to take sides. But I am fully aware that when the Senate invite the IG to come and give some explanation to the killing that is going on everywhere in the country, I think it should be the Senate, the IG should do the needful by going and explain to them, not to go behind and start looking for something to indict the Senate President. That is one. Two, this award that is given to Abiola is welcome development. People should stop looking at it from the political angle. They should look at it from as a bridge to solve the major problem that is in the country, the division that is everywhere. Because that election was judged to be free and fair, and Abiola sacrificed both him and even the life of his family, the wife, we are slaughtered because of this democratic policy.
All right, let's take in Felix. Felix calling in from Bayelsa State. Please go ahead.
Okay, what I want to say is that why must the President appoint Shenekon as the head of the interim government? Why not install Abiola as the president? And if that is not done now, they recognize Abiola as the president now, as at now. Let them pay him and his vice president the salary belongs to them as at that time for the 4 years term. If that is not, let them immortalize him at least June 12th as a democratic day. That is my contribution.
All right, thank you very much, Felix. All right, you're going to go to
Port Harcourt.
Port
Harcourt again. Now, Ziga, let me take my question again. Now, a lot of Nigerians who were of age in 1993 have said that that was the freest and fairest election ever held in Nigeria. Do you think this would put a lot of pressure on the presidency to ensure that 2019 elections will also be free and fair without any form of violence?
Thank you so much. Let me start by saying this, that even the man who purported to have annulled that election, because for us in the human rights community, we see that election as still standing then and for all time. The results of that election still stands, and that is why we are saying that Abiola was president of Nigeria from 26th of August 1993 to 26th of August 4 years later, 1997. As like the last caller said, Abiola is entitled to his full salaries, his full emoluments of office as President Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for the 4 years that he ought to have been President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now, what was the slogan of that of the Abiola campaigns? Hope 93. Millions of Nigerians had hope. Millions of Nigerians believed that that election is going to put paid to all manner of primordial sentiments. Not North or South, not Islam or Muslim or Christianity, not West or East or whatever divide that had kept on dividing the Federation of Nigeria into bits and pieces. And Hope 93 came to actually give Nigerians hope. We had hope that from then onwards, Nigerians of whatever color or shape can aspire to whatever office. And so when Abiola was elected president, on the slogan of Hope 93, on a Muslim ticket, Nigerians believed that, in fact, there were more Christians. If you look at that, the trend of the election, more Christians in the South even voted for Abiola than more Muslims in the North. And so Christians believed that Abiola that was not partisan, Abiola that was never sentimental, Abiola that did not believe he was only a Yoruba man or an SDP man or whatever, would actually guarantee that hope to millions of Nigerians. And so then, coming back to the question you've asked now, actually, I believe that the president had good intentions. The timing is not for me to discuss. To have done the right thing, the issue is that if you have done the right thing, at whatever point is a right thing supposed to be done, a right thing can be done at any time. What he has done is the right thing. To have recognized that Abiola was president, to have given him the Grand Commander of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that are reserved for presidents and former heads of state, is the right thing the president have done. Coming to the next year elections, definitely that will actually let Nigerians know whether the present administration is serious on free and fair elections. That election was not only free and fair, it was adjust the freest and the fairest in the history of Nigeria. And so, if the present administration means well for this country, they can also revert back to option A4. Majority of us in the human rights community are not participating in elections in this country for the mere fact that most people believe that only those that are selected will be elected, and only those that are elected are those that were selected. And so we believe that if there is going to be a credible election, let us also revert back to option A4. Some people erroneously think that option A4 is archaic or is not scientific. But when we are doing the scientific thing and we are doing it fraudulently, is it actually scientific?
All right, Mr.
We are in the
Luwe.
computer age. And then
Mr.
elections and ballot boxes are carted away by politicians into the bushes.
Mr. Luwe, I'm sorry, I'll have to
that
put
election
you...
free.
I can't put you on the pause, please.
The one that we expect
have to
to
kindly
happen
put
is the
you
one that we can
on
also
a
lie
pause.
behind our candidates. And if you believe in him, you know that this is the person you are voting for. The same way that Abiola
I'll have to kindly
emerged
put
from
you
that
on the
process
pause
of
and take this call from
the world level
from
to the
Lagos.
national level.
Emmanuel. I'm sorry I have to put you on the pause, Mr. Louis. Let's hear Emmanuel. Emmanuel is on the call from Lagos. Please go ahead.
Hello?
We can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hello?
Please go on.
Yeah. Good morning.
Great, we can hear you. Please go ahead, Emmanuel.
Good morning.
Please go ahead.
Good morning. Good. Yeah, I seem to appreciate every discussion going on there. But there are two issues I want to point out. One is that if you want to give Abiola such an honor, it should be a national honor. It should be westernized, just like the leader of the said. We have the National Assembly that has been named after Abiola. We have other monuments around this country that have been named after Abiola. Besides that, another speaker on this same thing said, it's alive. We are not asking for prosecution. Most of us from calling to say, come and apologize to Nigerians to do it. Apology is essential in this society.
All right. Yeah, please, can you turn on the volume of your TV sets when you call? We'll take this call from Bayelsa. Godfrey, please go ahead.
What President Buhari did, I actually like what he did for recommending Abiola. And if Nigerians don't like it, me personally, I like it and I love he did this. That's what I say.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. Keep those calls coming in. Please remember when you call in, turn down the volume of your TV set. And also kindly our panelists for the discussions in our Abuja, Lagos and Port Harcourt studios. We will have to interrupt you now and again during the course of the discussion so we can take in calls from across the country because it's open day, which is the opportunity for people to also call in and tell us what they think about the topics we are discussing. So we're still staying with Port Harcourt with Mr. Nazir Luwe, who's a legal practitioner. I understand that we've sort of lionized the Abiola's discussion, has lionized the discussion this morning, but I'm going to get your viewpoint on the Senate IGP squabble just shortly. But let's take Richard first from Lagos. Richard, go ahead and make your contributions. And make sure your phone, your TV set is turned down too.
I want to, first of all, appreciate the gentleman from Port Harcourt. I don't know if he's a lawyer.
Yes.
Contribution, very, very useful. Very useful. My brothers, what we are seeing now is a revelation of the injustice the Nigerian state has been suffering from. This project we call Nigeria is a state that is founded on injustice. And if the President Buhari, is doing this now, I will advise that he goes back and look at all the injustices that have been done to different tribes and personalities in Nigeria. Nigeria cannot continue like this. We can't continue like this after destroying lives and destroying destinies of people, and then you want to do one occasion that will calm down the nerves of people. And that's not the best way to go about it. Yes, this award is being given to Mr. Abiola. What about those who died during that period? Those who lost their lives? So, like the lawyer is saying, the young man, the gentleman from Port Harcourt, all the stories that Abiola was supposed to get, his entitlement should be given to him. And then the president should go back if he wants to get the hope and popularity of Nigerians again. He should go back into the archives of Nigeria and let us heal wounds. Nigeria is a state that is founded on injustice. Like people are saying everywhere now that we need to restructure Nigeria. Nigeria needs to be restructured to heal wounds. If we continue with these wounds here and there, we cannot move forward. There will always be trouble.
All right. Thank you very much. A very useful contribution from you, sir. Let's hear Richard. Richard is calling in from Lagos. Please go ahead, Richard. Richard, please go on. You're live. Or rather, Frank. Sorry.
Hello.
Frank, please go on.
All right, good morning.
Great, Frank. We can hear you. Please go ahead.
All right, my contribution towards this issue is that I want Buhari, they say anything worth doing is worth doing well. If we were to declare June 12th election, as you have declared June 12th as Democracy Day, fine, accepted. But have we gone through the justification of the June 12th? The person that annulled the election, what have they done to him for the past 25 years? That's just my contribution. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thank you so
Frank.
much, Frank. Let's go back to our Lagos studio and talk on... Okay, before we come back to Lagos, let us wrap up from our Port Harcourt today. You were asking him a question.
So let's go back to Port Harcourt. Naziga Lue, we get your closing remarks also too with this. We've had a fantastic discussion with you. One topic you haven't said anything about yet, is which I would love to hear your comments on as we bring your side of the discussion to a close, is the National Assembly 12-point resolution faced off between the IG and the Senate. You have issues here that cannot be resolved. And appears to become, like someone was saying, this Ajibachi is going to go until the end of this administration, most likely. What are your thoughts on this one as we bring the discussion to a close?
Well, I think Nigeria should learn to do things like other sane democratic nations around the world. But we say we are a democratic nation. I think it is high time we also think in the direction of the IGP not taking orders from the presidency as such. The Inspector General of Police and the police force ought to be an independent body to the extent that they can investigate even the sitting president and tell Nigerians that this is what and this is what is emanating from the presidency. The Nigerian police force is Nigerian police force, not the presidency's police force. As they should not be at the whims and caprices of the presidency. What is happening between the presidency, the Senate, and the IGP is just laughable. It ought not to be done in a sane democratic society like Nigeria. Just like the guys from Lagos have said, it ought to have, the IGP ought to have invited the Senate president for questioning. It's not a bold police invitation. I haven't invited him. Whatever investigations that he arrived at and whatever conclusions is left for the police to now work with. Now, castigating and prosecuting people on the pages of newspapers is one thing that have made the police to even lose their cases in court. And it is high time they abandon that approach and tread on the path of caution and do what sane societies, sane democratic nations across the world are doing. A police force is not supposed to be partisan at all. A police force is supposed to be independent of whatever agencies of government. Accepted that the president is the person that appoints the IGP. It should stop at that point, and the IGP ought to be independent of the presidency. It is not for the president to tell the IGP who to arrest, to tell the president, to tell the IGP who to release, to tell the president, IGP who to prosecute, and all that. The Inspector General of Police should be, and the National Assembly should look into this area of our laws. Now, immediately after the appointment of the IGP, let it be said that the IGP can on his own arrest, can on his own prosecute, can on his own do whatever investigation that the law empowers him to do, not subject to the whims and caprices of a president or his governor, as the case may be, or whatever authority or person. They should also not be independent to the extent that they will be dictatorial. The police council should be the only authority that can checkmate the activities of the Inspector General of Police. It shouldn't be that, just like I've said, now, if tomorrow now, whatever investigation that they've arrived at may also be thrown away just because maybe the president and the Senate president have come to terms with whatever had been the issue between them. So it shouldn't be, because the world is also watching. Just as we are in this studio now, across the world, they are watching us. whatever we say here, whatever we do here, is watched across the world. And the world's sane societies, sane democratic nations are watching Nigeria to see what emanates from all this thing.
Right.
Nigeria is not a banana republic, for God's sake.
All right, thank you so much.
Hello.
Thank you very much, Naziga Luwe, a legal practitioner. Thank you for lending your voice on our open day today. Thank you so much.
I'm privileged to be here. Thank you.
All right, let's move over to Abuja Studios. Jide Ojo, public affairs analyst. In rounding off, now let's talk about what the Senate President is facing at this point in time. Now, the police have been revealing a lot of evidence against the Senate President, saying that it's not a witch hunt, and that is why all this evidence have been met. Now, the Senate President is the number 3 person in Nigeria. Now, do you think it's a witch hunt, or do you think it's the proper thing, as no one is above the law?
For me, it's a clear case of witch hunt. It's not today you have people being paraded for robbery and all of that. What the police are trying very hard to do is to pollute the minds of the general public about the person of Senate President. And when you look at most of the critics of government, particularly in Senate, they are the ones that are having running battle with Nigerian police. Dino Melaye, they said he's the one sponsoring some cultists or some, some boys to commit mayhem in Kogi State. Shehu Sani, they said he was involved in a murder case. Then now we have a senator. Yes, I mean, the boys are not denying the fact that, yes, they know the Senate President they said they are his political followers. And you know, whatever empowerment, if I give you a car and you use that car, to go and rob, does that mean that I'm the one that said you should go and rob with that car? Let the court be the judge, not the way and manner in which trial by the media is being done by Nigerian police. I don't buy it. That's why in many instances that we have seen all these sensational cases, they go to court and they lose because they look at the way they malign the judges. They did a lot of media trial. They found the X amount of money, weapons, and all of that. They have this. Which of them has been convicted by the courts? And yet, in the eye of the public, the eye of the public have been polluted. Now, if you have overwhelming evidences against the Senate President, take him to the court, invite him properly, let him take his statement, then charge him to court, let him have his days in court. Not that every 3-4 days you arrange, you come to the media and start saying, hey, what's your relationship with the Senate President? Did you share the money with him? Is he the one that gives you weapon? That is putting words in the mouth of those guys. At the end of the day, they will get to the court and they say, oh, we gave this information under duress. And whatever information you obtain under duress cannot stand in law. So for me, they should do less of drama. The Nigerian police should do less of drama. If anyone has infringed, has infracted on the laws of the country, the courts are there. The police are to investigate, arrest, and prosecute, not at the same time sitting on a case in their own, as if the person they have suspected. In the eye of the law, every suspect is presumed innocent until the contrary is proven in the court of law. Let Saraki have his days in court, and let the court make a pronouncement on his guilt or innocence, not the Nigerian police.
Out of ammo. Thank you. Useful contributions. Jide Ojo is a public affairs analyst. How time flies when you're having a great discussion. Thank you, sir, for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
All right. And then finally, touching base, home run. Lester Wilcox for the home run.
If I'm giving all the time to Abuja and Port Harcourt, it's fine. It's fine.
Well, saving the best for the last.
Yeah.
The common denominator throughout our stories this morning is that we've had heroes and villains.
Yes.
Heroes like Chief MK Abiola, but I'm sure somebody in Niger State won't be excited about all of the drama playing out and his role in the country's
Yes.
democratic history.
Yes.
Someone who had a great opportunity, but then didn't do it. A number of people kept mentioning him. Retired General.
Yes, a
Brian
friend of mine
Badmus
just said.
Babangida. What do we do with Babangida?
A friend of mine just said Buhari shot just to throw a stone in Aso Rock and he hit both Mina and Ota at the same time. Babangida should be confined to history. He's no longer relevant. He's a past head of state. He did quite well for the country. 9 years as head of state at one stretch, the longest we've ever had. So he should be confined to history, sincerely. All this talking about going and bring him for trial, it's by the same time you go and bring him for trial. This time, I mean, like the way Jidojo was talking, that's the same sentiment that will arrive. And I just want to really touch base with this Saraki issue because I've not commented on that quickly.
Exactly, go ahead.
I want to disagree with my brother Jidoji to a slight, to a reasonable extent. You see, in this country, we always talk that the big man is untouchable. But when the big man is touched, we are not able to align ourselves with the big man being touched. So we appropriate and reprobate at the same time. And people talk about media trial. Everywhere in the world, journalists fish information. Look at what's happened to Donald Trump. Since he assumed office, all his key allies, top generals, have been brought down. The media is on them. Their life is upside down because of the media must do their work. They're not like media trial. The media must do. I don't know why in this case we talk about media trial or want to show that the journalists, want to show that the media houses. They must do their work and they must get information across the people. So who is doing the media trial? Is the journalists, the press houses. So for me, what's happened to Saraki? You go to the kitchen or go with clean hands.
All right.
That is the truth.
We're going to have to leave it at that, Mr. Wilcox.
Oh, God. Okay. All right. but I think the police should be allowed to do their work.
Absolutely.
Not only for the poor man, but also for the big man.
It's a story with very...
And we must get it clear. 33 people are killed in Offa. And somebody has a link to someone that bought a car or provide money to somebody.
Absolutely.
It must be made clear. And Nigerians must be able to accept it.
It's a story with very fluid angles and tangents, which we're going to keep exploring until we
I wish I'll be able to explain some other day because really,
obviously,
I did not like what some of our people are saying about it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Mr. Wilcox.
It's my
Let's welcome
for being emotional.
Our public. It's always great for TV, right? As a public affairs analyst as well as a chartered accountant, and that is a wrap for Open Day and a wrap for. Well, we still got a sports highlight coming up. Thank you very much, everyone who's called in during this segment. But let's see what's going on in the world of sports as we count down to the World Cup. Please stay with us.